Hello! In this video, we will learn what query breadth is. Query breadth is basically a measure of how general or generic a query is, or alternatively, how narrow it is. Broad level queries return a high number of search results. Additionally, their query terms are quite few, meaning they consist of only a small number of words. The key concept here is the related document count. This means how many articles match the query. High breadth means many results. If someone searches for shoes, that is a broad term, and it will return many search results. However, if someone searches for red leather boots size 8, its breadth will be low because it returns fewer search results. You can see a pattern here where this process is mentioned. First, retrieve the query click result. Next, determine the popularity measure for the click result. Following that is determining the query breadth and then deviating the popularity measure. Finally, store the deviated popularity measure. These are phrases and word pairs that are used together. For example, most people write New York without a space. A query like best Italian restaurant has a narrower breadth compared to best restaurant. Next are unknown entities, terms that the system does not recognize. This includes slang words, misspellings, or out of vocabulary terms like zombie phone. Zombie phone is essentially an unknown entity. It is not a brand name. If it were something like Apple, it would be a known brand to the system. So how can breadth be reduced? You add more words, which narrows down the query. The word Apple can refer to a fruit, a company, or a movie. If it is narrowed down to, Apple iPhone 15 release date, it is specific and has been narrowed down. The applications include named entity recognition, or NER. This detects entities such as Elon Musk, and the system will detect it as a named entity. And next is structured construction. All structured data is treated in the format of subject, predicate, and object. For example, subject, Paris, predicate is the capital of, object, France. What is its process flow? First, retrieve the query click result. This checks which result the user clicks when they perform a specific search. For example, a user clicks on a blog about software, then determine the popularity measure. This checks the click-through rate of that specific website, measuring which articles people click on more often. Next, determine the query breadth. This measures how broad or how specific the query is. For instance, if the query is coffee shops, it will be broad. But if it is Starbucks near me, it will be specific. After that is to deviate the popularity measure. Since shoes has millions of results, the job here is to prevent any single website from dominating that specific keyword. Finally, store the adjusted popularity. This means storing the adjustment that was made so that the search remains more accurate